close on February 2nd.
All right,
So
guys,
excited.
we are live with our pre-market analysis. Good morning, everyone in the live trading room. Good morning, everyone on YouTube. Let's get right at it. Today's a busy day, last day of January, and we're just gonna make a shit ton of money today. So let's get it. Uh, we're just talking about Fubo right now. Fubo is popping up pretty heavily. Let me adjust my charts here so we can all see it. Closed yesterday at 39, traded up to $45. They just raised money. Common shares, $57.78 per share. So what does that mean? They literally just raised money against their stock price. You know, they did a private offering of $350 million, convertible note due 2026, and the price of the offering per the shares were $57.78, and it's trading at 44. What does that tell you? They just raised money, right, from financial institutions or from big investors, and the investors paid $57 per share, but in the public markets, it's trading at 45. What's that tell you? This shit is gonna ride up. So Fubo is gonna be my number one play today. This is very, very good news, and especially if I'm not mistaken, it's got a heavy short interest on it. Let's see.
Oh,
75%. Okay, guys. All right. This is going to be wild today. So,
oh,
Fubo is literally my number one play today. Um, Other than that, Moderna. Moderna
yeah.
gapped up to $220 almost off of the J&J news because I guess from what I read, the J&J vaccine didn't seem as strong as like the Moderna vaccine with the results of the efficacy and how effective it is against COVID. So I have to assume that's why Moderna was popping. It
Yeah.
is in a pretty aggressive pop. I mean, it closed yesterday at 150, 59, 55, and it popped to 220. It did pull to 194. I'm gonna wait to see if Moderna sells off a little bit more. It would have to break 193 if it holds. If it breaks above 199 or even like 197, you can go long. Put your stops at 193. Rip this sucker up if it wants to trade up. If it breaks though, it might. Moderna and these vaccine companies, they tend to sell off these massive gains, right? So I am looking maybe for a little bit more, maybe of a sell-off, maybe to retrace a little bit of this gap up. It's already doing a significant, retracement. It's already retraced, 30 points. So we might just get a reversal pop and rip to the upside. Let's look at the short interest on this one. For every stock we trade now, we have to look at the short interest to give us more perspective. Uh, Okay, not much short interest, just 7%. So that's not going to move it. It is a small float, though, only 395 million shares outstanding. Not that much, right? So Moderna is definitely going to be in play. We've traded this one plenty of times, and this one's going to be pretty nice. Rocket, RKT. The CEO of Rocket was just on CNBC talking about his company, his stock. They asked him specifically about the short float on his stock. Take a look. 36.72% short float on Rocket. This thing shot up from 21 bucks to $26. Look at the daily chart on this one. This is breaking out. All right? Breaking out. Since its IPO, it's based here. It has never fallen below. It's like 1750. It's been basing here for so long, since August of last year, right? So if Rocket gets a bid under it and it rips, we're gonna go long this sucker. My first target would be pre-market high 25.53. My next target around $27. After that, 30 bucks. After that, 34.40. Let's go. Let's take it to the moon, baby. Let's make it
Yeah.
another GME. So that's one name that I like. Uh, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are on a run this morning, so I'm going to keep an eye on MARA and BTBT. These names do rally up with Bitcoin and the cryptos, so keep an eye on them. If BTBT breaks above 25, 27, go long, put your stops at 24. That's about $1.27 risk. First target, we could look for 27 area. Second target, 29.30. So that's what I'm looking at for BTBT. Fubo, bull flag breakout here.
Yep. It's about to break out.
Shoot, man.
Take your entry right there.
This thing is going to fly without us, man.
And there it is.
So
See ya.
don't worry, guys. We're going to get a piece of it. We're going to get a piece of it. It's doing a significant run already. But this is good news for Fubo. So I like Fubo. So I already talked about Moderna, Fubo, BTBT, MARA. Of course, we're gonna keep an eye on GameStop. We're gonna keep an eye on BBBY. Look at it, BBBY just pushing higher. AMC as well. There are restrictions, so depending on the platform that you're using, just be aware of the restrictions. For me personally, with Merrill Edge, I cannot trade equity on AMC, and actually I can. What's the requirement? What did they tell me? They just increased the margin requirements for the security. So I'm sure I meet the requirements. That's not going to be an issue. But regardless, these stocks are going to be in play. So if we see AMC rip past, $15, I mean, go long the stock. GameStop. I'd rather play AMC, to be honest with you, than GameStop, because GameStop is so expensive. The range is so wide. I would just prefer to, guide you guys to other names that are cheaper and that are going to give us drastic moves. Taj, I don't know if you agree with that as well, but look at this range. Like, if you got into GameStop right now on this bull flag, if it breaks out at 388, you're gonna have to put your stops at like 360. So that's a $28, almost $30 risk on GameStop. I'd rather just focus on AMC, BBBY, where the risk is significantly smaller. So that's just my personal opinion. I'd rather us be safe than sorry. Look at Fubo. Fubo up to $46. So
1-to-1 right
there it is. Another name I'm going to keep an eye on is NEO. NEO got a price target upgrade today to $80 from my boy at Morgan Stanley. So with that being said, NEO's got a lot of price target upgrades lately, but it's been hit because of the overall stock market. The stock market has been selling off and it's been weak the past couple days because of the volatility that exists in the market. And NEO is just, susceptible to that volatility. So long term, I like NEO. Today, it's going to get a nice bid on it, especially with this $80 price target from Morgan Stanley. And one other name I'll be watching, guys, is just the overall S&P 500. There's a lot of volatility. The VIX right now is currently at 32. And I like it. I like the VIX above 30 because the volatility is going to be pretty dramatic to the upside and to the downside for the S&P 500. Remember, the VIX is tied to the S&P 500. So I like that. The S&P right now is providing some good range. We're trading below the 20 MA on the daily, and it's sitting at 378.22, around that range. We could possibly test it, but if it gets rejected off of that, I'm going to look to go short. But if the market wants to rally, then of course we'll go long with 377, 378 calls. So if the S&P immediately just flushes and breaks below 375.80, which is like this little flag that it's holding right now, I'll go short. I'll put my stops at 376.50. So that's about a 70-cent risk on that trade. So with that being said, guys, let me pass it over to Taj so he can go over his A setup or A list.
Yeah, so you asked earlier about GameStop, compared to AMC. Couldn't agree with you more. I've been refraining for the most part from trading GameStop because a lot of times the contracts have had $2 to $3 spreads on them. So that means for every contract that you buy, you're down $200 to $300 just off the spread alone.
Right.
So for me, I just never really feel comfortable trading stocks with that wide of spreads because they can always open up on you as well. It could go to $5, $6 when the stock really starts moving. So with that being said, I really do highly recommend if you're going to trade one of these stocks with the high short squeeze that the herd is trading, AMC. I'll definitely be keeping a close eye on AMC. I like the setup that it has going on right now. I actually like the setup a little more than GameStop.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I think AMC, it's easier for AMC to rally compared to Bitcoin. Remember, there are buying restrictions placed on a lot of these firms or a lot of these brokerages with purchasing these names. AMC, I think you can buy a little bit more shares compared to GameStop. Sure, it's like not that quite much more, but nonetheless, retail investors can buy a little bit more AMC compared to GameStop. So that being said, AMC is definitely going to be one of the names at the top of my list. It's going to be on the A list, along obviously with the move that Fubo just had in the news coming out as well. Fubo is going to be at the very top of the list. Looks like we have resistance around $50. But then after that, I mean, we've got room to run. Yep. And we still have a ways to go from $50. We're currently trading at about $46.20. We broke out of that bull flag at $45. That would have been an easy 2-to-1 trade right out of the gates. But we do have to wait for the market to open. So nonetheless, Fubo is going to be at the very top of my list as well. Another name I'll be watching is Apple and Facebook. Both received price target upgrades. So I'm going to keep an eye on them. They've been beaten up over the past couple of days, specifically, Apple failing to break out of that all-time high. It's currently trading right off the 8 of May. So I think today is going to be an interesting day for Apple to see if that 8 of May is going to hold its support. So this is more so going to be on my B list because I do think a lot of the other names are going to be heavily traded. So with that being said, Facebook as well is going to be a B list stock. Microsoft, going to keep an eye on that as well. This is another name that is gapping down. DraftKings, keeping an eye on that as well. It's actually popping. It's breaking out of the bull flag here. I still do have swings going yesterday from DraftKings from the news that came out. Here's the thing about DraftKings. If we break yesterday's high, this thing's gone.
Yep.
This thing is gone. You will officially be breaking. Yesterday was the break. Today would be the hold, right? Of breaking out of this consolidation that's been this overhead resistance around $57. It's banged its head on it about 1, 2, 3, about 4 times already. So I expect today for it to actually break out and hold that level. And hey, if you like to swing it, get in on DraftKings. I currently have my stops pretty much at the low of this candle around $53. And it's, not playing it heavy, but the risk reward is there. If DraftKings is able to pop up to $60, $61, $62, you'll be sitting, really nice on a trade like this. So I'll be keeping an eye on DraftKings as well as a B list type of play. But other than that, man, I think the story of the day is honestly just going to be some of the names we've been trading, the AMCs, the GMEs. Maybe Space can try to formulate a comeback. Rocket is another one as well. It had a nice big pop right before we hopped on here. We did have a slight retracement, well, probably about a 30%, 40% retracement. So we'll have to let the stock settle a bit and see which direction it wants to, continue. But it does look like a solid long as of now, and see if we can test that pre-market high.
Yep.
But my list, man, honestly, is going to be very short today. I don't want to flip around too many stocks. Neo is another name as well. Going to have that on the A list, and I mean that's pretty much my list, man. I think today you have a good range of stocks to play. You have cheap names to play. You have mid-priced names to play, and you have expensive.
Yep.
Right. Choose some names that are within your risk parameters and trade those names. Right. You can't trade GameStop. Don't trade GameStop if it's not within your risk parameters.
Right.
Right. Look at AMC. AMC is a cheap name. Rocket is a cheap name. Neo, the contracts were pretty cheap on Neo.
BBBY.
Well. BBBY is another one, right? There are plenty of names. Look at BBBY right now, setting up for a bull flag breakout. So BBBY can break out above, around $42. You can throw stops around 41. That's $1 risk, and let's see what can happen, right? You'll be breaking out of range. I'm looking on the 15-minute chart. no real resistance until around $49 on the actual chart. So it has a lot of range to run. So let's wait for the setup and let things happen.
Absolutely
I know
right.
I've seen some people, joking around saying, throwing the sink at some of these plays and all that. And I totally know everyone's joking for the most part, but
For the most part.
just in case temptation creeps in, do not throw the kitchen sink at any one play, no matter how of a sure thing it looks, right? Because nothing is for sure in this market, and you don't want to take one trade that is going to make or break you.
David.
David is not joking. Yeah, man. You don't want to be in a position where especially this month and this week. A lot of us have had an amazing week. Me personally, I haven't lost one day this month, and I would love to keep that momentum going. But the way to do that is just keep being consistent, right? Don't go and say, "Hey, I've won every single day this week or every single day this month. This is the day that I'm really going to try to, triple, quadruple my P&L," right? Keep things consistent and just let the market take care of you, right? Let the place take care of you. Just keep things consistent each and every time.
Yeah. No, perfectly said, man. So focus on making the base hits, and then if the plays are just really good, man, we make those base hits into doubles and triples, and then home runs, and maybe even a grand slam. So, man, let's just close out this month and kill it, and celebrate, and we start over again February. Pen is popping, Chris. Let's see. Let's take a quick look at Pen here. What's up with Pen? What? What are you talking about? You trolling me, bro. All right. So with that being said, guys, everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Smash that like button, that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Join our community. It's an open community, and you can check us out if you want to day trade with us. It is a premium service, but we have a 3-day free pass. And if you love what you see, make money with us every single day. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you had a great January, and we'll see you guys next week.